Here is a speed and agility workout that I have my athletes do. There are 3 main focuses in this workout: forward and backward movement, lateral, and then some type of axial transition movement. For the first part, forward and backwards, I want my athletes to really emphasize the brakes on this. It doesn't matter how fast you can go if you can't stop. And if you can't stop appropriately, that's where we see a lot of non-contact ACL tears here. So in this first part, I just want my athletes nice and easy jogging. I want them to stop on a line, some kind of landmark, and plant their foot nice and hard. And I want them to pause there for a brief second. 1 second, 2 seconds, and then they pop back up. They need to own this position here. I sometimes give them a cue of shoving their foot into the ground, like if they're going to kick into a shovel, trying to dig into the ground. I want my athletes to get anywhere from 2 to 3 deceleration steps and own this position. I have them do about 50% 2 times, 75%, and then 100%. Have them really get used to this movement here. Once athletes have mastered the linear and the forward running, they do the same progressions from the 50%, 70%, 100% with the back pedal. However, with the back pedal, they do not need to stop on any line just yet. Make sure athletes are leading with their butt, they're pushing their hips back, and they're reaching their feet straight back and using their arms. Once the athletes have acquired these skills, now I want to put it into real life application here. Can they react off this, and how fast can they react? This is my reactive series where I use a visual stimulus where I'm using my hands. If I have my hands pointing behind me, that means that the athlete is going forward. If I point my hands back, the athlete needs to transition into a back pedal. If I put both my hands down by my side and I say dig it in, then they sprint through the line. After having the athletes do this a few times, I noticed there's a few common misconceptions, so I'm giving them a few extra cues here.
It's like the pendulum swing. You waste a lot of time and energy doing that. That's why you gotta lead with your hips. If I stop here, I'm right to my back up. I can change really quick here versus here. Swinging my legs back and forth. That's the difference between catching somebody and not. You guys got that?
Now that they have mastered the visual cues, I want to give them some auditory cues. So I want to be behind my athlete and I'm going to be clapping. 1 clap, change direction, 2 claps, turn and burn.
Go.
As a coach, make sure that you are out of sight for this. You need your athletes to be reactive and not trying to predict things. So if they can see your hands clapping, they're going to try and cheat this drill a little bit. You need them to be able to cover as much distance as possible in between these claps and be able to react off that. That is our forward and backwards running. Now we're on to lateral. With lateral movements, I like to just keep a basic shuffle. It's the same progression. You do a couple times through at 50%, 75, 100%. With these progressions, I want my athletes also stopping on a line, just like the forward and backward running. I want them to make sure that they're keeping their toes forward, they're not clicking their heels together, and they're not crossing over their feet. They need to refine some of these movements, take your time, critique some of them, give them feedback, and then have them produce that nice 4 full stop on the line.
Set, go. Good, no crossing your feet either. I see a lot of this already. See a lot of this. No point. Okay. Keep those toes forward. Think about pushing yourself off that back foot instead of pulling. I see a lot of you guys trying to do like your final stop. Okay. Just push. My foot here is just getting out of the way. Pushing off your front, dragging myself through. Okay.
Now we follow the same progressions of the reactive series. If I'm holding up my hand, I want them going that way. If I hold up my hand going the opposite direction, they lower their center of gravity and they change direction.
You enter low and you leave low. You guys got that? You enter high and extend it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to probably blow your ankle for your knee, fall over, no bueno. Okay? When I put both my hands down here and I say dig it in, you turn and sprint through. You guys ready? Yes. Okay. Set, go. Dig it in. Good. Enter, go. Dig it in.
part of the speed and agility program is more for just spatial and body awareness. It's not necessarily anything that's sport specific. So I put it at the end of the workout. If you don't have time to do it, that's fine. But if you do have some time, you finished early, it's a great thing to just get kids moving, have their bodies move in new, different ways. With this, I have my kids do the same progression as before. Nice, easy 50%, acquiring this knowledge on how to move. Athletes follow the same running progression a couple times through a 50, 75, and then 100%. After they've looked good doing this movement a few times, then you add the reactive series. I give my athletes anywhere from 3 to 5 yards by holding up a hand, and they have to react to that stimulus. Once they're done with the visual with my hands, I give them auditory behind them, and I tell them left or right.